Hello and welcome to our Oenology project. Today, the four of us, Eleonora, Doucia, Margot and myself will talk about the subject phylloxera. Enjoy! What is phylloxera? A phylloxera is a killer insect called plant lice that ruins vines by attacking their roots. Phylloxera adults are 1 millimeter long. In summer, they are yellow and in winter rather brown. These insects travel in packs consisting mainly of females. Once the soil warms to over 60 degrees, the phylloxera begins to feed. On to the damage caused. Phylloxera attack in groups. They feed on the roots that then swell and turn yellow. Spots with dead root tissue appear where the phylloxera has nibbled. The only way to dump them is to get rid of all the infected grapevines. Pesticides do not work on phylloxera. It was not until the end of the 19th century that grape growers found a solution to the problem. Berlandieri, Riparia, and Rupestris, phylloxera-resistant American rootstocks. These were grafted onto the roots of Vitis vinifera. Phylloxera destroyed over 6 million acres of vineyards in France. The damage spread beyond Europe to Australia, South Africa, California, etc. Only very few places in the wine world were not affected. Chile was not affected partly due to geography, the Pacific Ocean on one side and the Andes on the other. Another reason is the government to ensure that invested vines were not imported to other countries. An additional reason could be the combination of climate and soil. Today, Chile has some of the oldest vines with Vitis vinifera rootstock.
The Carmenère was a noble variety planted in Bordeaux until the phylloxera plague hit France. French winemakers tried grafting the vines with American rootstock. However, the grape variety was unable to adapt to growing conditions in the Bordeaux region, with cold spring and early rains causing production and quality difficulties in the fall. Just before phylloxera hit France, some Carmenère was imported into Chile. The vines grew quickly due to the climate. Is now Chile's signature grape. It has been mistaken at the beginning for the Merlot, as it has spicy aromas and gentle tannins similar to Merlot. For some time, the Carmenère was called the Chilean Merlot, until 1998, when the Chilean Department of Agriculture officially recognized the Carmenère as a distinct variety.
Let's move on to the interesting tasting differences between a pre-phylloxera wine and a grafted wine with American roots. Enologists around the world say that we cannot quantify the differences between a pre-phylloxera wine and an American rooted wine. However, all pre-phylloxera wines have a typicity to them. They're more expressive. Whereas the grafted ones may filter the terroir, and we wouldn't get the same tastes and aromas and textures and tannins that we could get with a pre-phylloxera wine. Focusing on the tasting experience, each pre-phylloxera wine has different characteristics. A first example could be the Barolo Piefranco from Serra Longa d'Alba in Piemonte, Italy. According to the winemaker which is next to me, Augusto Capellano, between the two wines, grafted Barolo and Piefranco Barolo, there is a great difference. The pre-phylloxera wine variety is much more elegant, but at the same time, it has great complexity and intensity, with much finer and silky tannins. It often has a particular aromatic component, reminiscent of balsamic spices.
Let's talk about the price ranges and the market of pre-phylloxera wines. Most vineyards were replanted with American rootstock. However, a few vineyards were not. As mentioned before, most Chilean wines have not been affected by phylloxera, and a small amount in Europe. Until 2006, 2 plots in Champagne used by Boulanger were never grafted with American rootstock. Due to the rarity of the vineyards not affected by phylloxera, their pre-phylloxera wines have become the rarest and the costliest ones. The price for one of these bottles is now up to 700 to 800 francs for 750 milliliters. The Lucini vineyards were also not affected by phylloxera. Their Sangiovese vines that have not been affected are now rare and now have a price increasing every year. It's among the highest priced Tuscany wines at around 600 to 650 francs for 750 milliliters. Another Italian wine is the Barolo Piefranco, which has a price between 400 and 600 euros per bottle. Most of them are now sold out. These are only a few examples of some wines that have not been affected by phylloxera. As you can see, the rarity of the vineyards not affected by phylloxera has increased their wine prices.
In conclusion, we would like to thank you with a quote of a wine journalist. For me, pre-phylloxera wines are like monuments. We have to protect and respect them as we would protect the ancient monuments of our cities. Thank you very much for your attention.
Bye!